Okay, so the next topic we want to investigate is this topic of power. And to help us explain power, we turn to our friend the FLABRAT. When I first talked about FLABRATs, a student gave me this picture and said, here is a FLABRAT. And this is a FLABRAT eating a little bit of leaf here, and it's not really a FLABRAT. But anyway, FLABRAT is fabulous because they are sensitive to weight. And so we can use them in the lab and just measure their weights. So here's a bar chart to describe the weights of a FLABRAT out in the wild. Not that they're very wild, but still. So we see that 5% weigh 70 units, 10% weigh 80 units, 20% weigh 90 units, and so on. So you can think of a unit of weight as a gram if you want to, but it doesn't have to be. Anyway, so if we put this into our calculator to see what is the weight, we see that the mean is 100 and the standard deviation is 14.5. Let's call that our null distribution. Okay, so that's the null distribution. Now, if we feed these FLABRATs a diet called the plus 100 diet, so it's the plus 100 diet, what do? Well, we shift the whole distribution over 100 units. And now the mean becomes 200, but the standard deviation changed a little bit too. So instead of having 5 on the extremities, we've got 7% on the extremities. So the standard deviation becomes 16. Now, here is the problem. We have our labs are all set up so that on our floor, the lab on the left has the FLABRATs with their natural diet. And on the right, the FLABRATs are on this plus 100 diet. So they've got the plus 100 diet. And one morning, you come to work and there is a FLABRAT in the hallway. And you say to yourself, oh my gosh, where did this FLABRAT come from? Does this FLABRAT belong in the left lab or in the right lab? So here is your challenge. The challenge is to classify the FLABRAT. If we put the two distributions side by side, how would you decide to classify the FLABRAT? Surely the decision should be made on how much the FLABRAT weighs. So you can take it, weigh it, and then decide. Now, suppose you use that decision rule. What might be a criterion to decide for your classification? You might say, all right, if its weight lies to the right of the pen, then I will classify it as the plus 100. Why? Well, because all those on the plus 100 diet lie to the right of the pen. If, on the other hand, the FLABRAT weighs something to the left of the pen, then you would classify it as the null. Why? Because everybody in the null lies to the left of the pen. So in other words, this is a wonderful situation. Come up with a point like this to demarcate your decision, and then that, in this case, separates them separately. So if we look at this and think of hypothesis testing, our alpha is going to be 0 and our beta is going to be 0. The power is equal to 1. We've got perfect discrimination. Think about this a little bit and think what else might you have done about classifying this lost FLABRAT.